Hi, everybody. Welcome to castorscorner.com here on our live YouTube channel where we do a toy of the day every day. I'm your host, Khalil. Remember to follow us. We are at Kastor's Corner, KASTORSKORNER on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everything. And remember to check out our podcast, Cornercast Podcast on Apple Podcasts. So I really worked hard, agonized over what to do for tonight. Tonight's 100. And I thought about it a lot. And I was trying to figure out what would make a good 100th episode. 100 days. It feels like a monumental task. It really does. And I really didn't know what to talk about. I didn't want to just do some random toy in the room. I had some new Transformers. I got the Netflix Wave 3. I picked up some vintage collection today. Like I have stuff to talk about. I mean, I've got shelves and shelves and basement full of stuff that I have never talked about, and a back porch and a garage, and it just didn't feel right for day 100, and maybe day 200, day 365. Maybe this would have been more appropriate, but I had to do a lot of work on my past this week for my day job. And in doing so, it brought up a lot of memories. And I thought, what better way to celebrate episode 100 than to talk about what's left from when I was a kid. And so this will probably be a little bit longer than normal, maybe. I will do my best to keep it to 10 to 15 minutes, so you guys aren't just listening to me ramble for that long. But as a kid of the 80s, I had just about everything. Honestly, I was a spoiled kid. There's no doubt in my mind. I couldn't thank my family more for indulging me in my action figure endeavors. If you wanted to know if this is who I am, I dug out some pictures. And these are from 85. Oh, I can probably check. I will tell you when these are from. Hold on. I didn't even think to do this. Photographs back then had dates on them. These are from 1987. And so if you ever wanted to know how much these are part of who I am as a person, you need to look no further than these pictures. So in 1987, I took my mom, dad's, aunt's camera, whoever's camera I had, and I set up my toys, and I took pictures of said toys in various stages. That's my magazine collection. Comic books and magazines in there, along with my villains. There's my Hall of Justice. More setup from the Hall of Justice there, and there's my Cat Slayer and Mum-Ra's tomb with my two Mum-Ra's. Villains for my superpowers, my heroes for my superpowers. It's fun show and tell. Here are my Transformers. And yes, my Feety pajamas and all my He-Man mini comics, my stuffed animals, and my cat's lair together. And then here is more Transformers set up on top of the TV and VCR. My Panther drawing in the back. Our friend, not that he's going to watch this, but this is a picture that I wanted my friend, and I think that is a coloring page, but my friend Guy, who is a great artist now, an amazing artist now, actually drew that for me in third grade, which was amazing. And then finally, here is my Eternia playset. So I did have it. I had that. I had the flag. I had everything. But growing up in the 80s, there was no value assigned to any of these toys. They were just toys. And when they broke, they broke. When the paint chipped, they got tossed. They got given away, they got sold at tag sales. And so there was a point in 92 or 93 when my mom said to me, and I know that she's probably going to watch this and shake her head and feel so guilty about it, but don't. Like, I don't expect her to feel guilty. She said, you got to get rid of some of your toys. You're a teenager. You need to get rid of some of this stuff. And I was getting heavy into Lego. My aunt was getting me Lego stuff. And so a lot of the stuff from the 80s, my Thundercats and all that stuff had to go. It had to go. And so I was allowed to keep a small box of toys. And I tried to represent my childhood the best I could in this box of toys. And so, in all honesty, as much as I have amassed, as much as I have bought back over time and repurchased, like that Hall of Justice up there, as much as I have done that, the only original pieces of my childhood are in this little box right here. This is it. This is what is left of the toys of my childhood. It is a collection of weird stuff that you would never think. And the weird part, the funny part is, like, I've gone back and bought Thundercats, right? I've gone back and bought the 80s Thundercats. I've gone back and bought 80s Masters of the Universe. I've gone back and bought Bionic 6. And I haven't done Silverhawks yet. They've always been too pricey. I've gone back and bought Superpowers and Secret Wars. And I've gone back and bought all these toys to try to recreate what I had as a kid. But this is all that's left. So C-3PO, missing a leg, is one of the pieces in the collection. And it's one of the ones that comes apart, which is why he's missing his leg. Because all I have left is the body parts that stayed on, that did not fall off. This is 1982. So probably Empire Strikes Back C-3PO. Vac metal, his chin's paint's coming off of his chin a little bit. So he survived. He survived the purge. A little baby Smurf. We collected Smurfs, and I might have more Smurfs, but they were more of like a family collection. Like, we'd get the holiday Smurfs and we'd put them out for various holidays. But most of them got rid of, and I kept baby Smurf. So the little, I forget which company this is from back then. I kept my, from a trip to Disney, I kept my Blue and Shere Khan and Mowgli. So they used to sit on my dresser. I used to play with them so much, and they are PVC. They don't move. But I figured out you could take off Shere Khan's head and rotate it if you wanted to. But it pegged in that way. So there's my fun little guy there. Now these are all sort of pieces. I always felt like I had willed this toy into existence. I remember I wrote a letter to Santa that asked for a Voltron set where the pilots could fit inside the lions. And sure enough, that Christmas, Santa brought me the Voltron set where the pilots went into the lions. And I had never seen anything like it. And I really thought that he was able to create this toy just for me. And so I kept the chest piece from the Black Lion. And that was the only piece of the Black Lion I kept. I think I either threw it out or sold it at a tag sale. I kept my original Sword of Omens. That is chewed on. Yes, that would be me as a kid chewing on Sword of Omens. But it is my original one, which is nice to have. I kept the armor from my He-Man, from my first He-Man, which was bought way back in 82, 83. So his original armor, I didn't keep him. I just kept his armor, which I always felt like was a little bit of a weird choice, but I kept it anyway. It's a little sticky and slimy, just from being in storage. It's one of those toys that, doesn't hold up as well. What else? I got into G.I. Joe very late in the game, but I remember really liking the ninjas and Jinx especially. I carried her everywhere with me. And she was one of those characters where my dad had a real issue with girl toys. So I wasn't allowed to have female characters. I know. He came from a very different time and country. And so she didn't look like female. She just looked like a red ninja. I chopped off her foot though for some reason. And so she was one of my favorites. And you can see, I didn't realize this. She had nail polish, but he missed it. She just looked like another character. What else did I keep? I kept 2 Silverhawk things, believe it or not, which I hear are kind of harder to come by. So I kept Quicksilver's wings because, well, they were easy to keep and they weren't. Ooh, don't want to rip that. So I have my original Quicksilver wings, and the clips still are in good shape. Actually, the whole cape's in good shape. Actually, I kept Bluegrass's guitar, and it still works. And I hear getting this with the intact strap is a little more valuable. So, and with the launching thing, so I kind of want a Bluegrass because just give me the Bluegrass with the hat. I don't need the guitar. I have it. So, again, not sure why I kept this and not him himself or Copper Kid or anybody. I kept my mini Panthro from the mini Thundercats line, and I have a few other minis, but they came later in different auctions. But I kept my Panthro for sure. And then I guess the Silverhawks got 2, but the only collection I kept, like actually 2 figures from, was my Secret Wars collection. And there's a funny story about this. So I kept both Spider-Men. And these guys have really been in storage. And I knew I had this one because I used to store this one with the He-Man gear on him. So when I pulled this out of the box earlier, this is what he looked like. He wore He-Man's gear. This one I literally just found as I was digging through. And funny enough, last night I was looking online. I was looking on eBay because I thought he was the only figure I didn't have yet, or didn't rebuy yet. And I almost bought one last night for, I don't know, $50. And lucky enough, timing and all that, I found him. He was in a box with all these other guys and buried, and I really didn't know I still had him. So it was one of those moments where, and he's in actually really good shape, surprisingly, compared to this Spider-Man. This Spider-Man, his webbing, the back of him is in good shape, but his front is starting to lose his webbing a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't know if it'll focus enough to get you a good view of him. So the web gear there is kind of falling off, but this one is in really good shape. So it looks like I do not have to eBay that one. So my Daredevil comes in the mail next week, and I will have all the originals except for the Europeans, which is great. And I think I've got all the vehicles plus the play sets. So I almost have a complete Secret Wars collection to go with my Superpowers collection. So day 100. This is what is left of the collection as a kid. I wish there was more. I really do. I really wish that there was more. I think they'd be beat up. I think they'd be really old. But it would have been nice to still have those. I've gone back and bought GoBots. I've gone back and bought Transformers. Actually, I haven't gone back and bought Transformers. I bought like the retro ones that were at Toys R Us like 20 years ago. But I didn't go back and buy like the original Transformers. Because the retro ones did the same thing for me. They were close enough. But this is what's left. And if there was any doubt at any time that this is what I was meant to do with my life, I mean, I have been doing this since 1987. So however long that is. What is that? I don't even know. 87. So 13 plus 21 is 34 years. 34 years, right? Maybe, yeah. Or my math that bad? This is why I'm a history teacher. I don't do math. 21 and 13. 21, 30, yeah, 34. I've been doing this for 34 years. And I think that there are more pictures somewhere in this house of me with my toys and setting them up. And there's actually a video. I actually recorded a video. I recorded a movie with them at one point in the late 80s. Very, very Goldberg style kind of thing. So, and that's what's gotten me here today. I'm sitting here talking to a camera, just like I did in 1988 and 1989. Sitting in a back room of the house, recording my thoughts on my toys and what's going on in my life. So thank you guys for indulging me and watching. Thank you guys for taking the ride with us for 100 days. It has been a really fun journey, and I look forward to another 265 more of these in some way, shape, or form. We will return to our regularly scheduled program of new toys tomorrow. Like I said, I've got Transformers, I've got He-Man, I've got a bunch of stuff coming up, Star Wars, and so DC, Multiverse, some Legends and stuff. So we've got plenty to talk about in the next couple of weeks. But this is what's left of my childhood, and that's what I did as a kid. I hung up stuff on the walls. I set up my toys and took pictures, and now, 30 some odd years later, 34 years later, I'm still doing it. So thank you guys for taking the ride with us. Remember to follow us. We are at Kastor's Corner on everything. Go check out the podcast, the Cornercast podcast on Apple Podcasts, and go to the website, castorscorner.com, for a full gallery of all of our toys and an archive of all of our toys of the day. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.